The FA Cup is a competition that we had one amazing run in, and since then, never really matched it here at Guernsey. Today we are back for episode number 35 of Park to Prem. Today, a home game against Cheltenham Town, followed up by a game against the biggest team in terms of wages in our division in Chesterfield. A team who, well, let's be honest, they're rather good. You might remember over the summer, during the transfer special, they stole away Nathan Tidster, an incredible striker who I want to claim they've been misusing. 3 goals in 16. I want revenge for them taking him. I want to beat them today. And I'd also quite like to show that money can't buy you success. I say that Chesterfield's wage budget and wage spend is double that of Notts County in second, compared to our own, which is right down at the bottom. They are spending over 5 times more a week, a month, a year on wages. Football is not fair. The equality doesn't exist. Today is one for the underdogs. Let's see if we can get 2 wins in 2, shall we? How's it going, folks? Welcome back to Park to Prem. Today, you've already heard what's going on. We've got a double header for your viewing pleasure. But before all of that, we need to discuss what's happened since last episode. Of course, we took on Bromley, we took on Woking, 2 pretty good wins in those games. And since then, for the most part, our form has been good. Our first game of the month of November was against Fylde. We won this one 4-1. Brandon Charles with 2, Robbie Yer with 1. Our Conte even getting in on the score sheet. This man's recent form has been sensational. Has missed a few games through international kind of football, unfortunately, and also had to rotate him for a game. But when he plays blooming well. 5 assists, or rather 5 goals, 7 assists. Reading's hard. I'm a big fan of Tariq. After that midweek win against Fylde, we had the FA Cup where we were taking on Halifax. Now, Halifax Town, a good team, a team in League 2, we demolished them 3-0. This is the kind of game that makes me think, hey, maybe we are ready for promotion to the Football League, taking on a team in the league above us, beating them 3-0, and of course, I want to use this as a bit of a confidence builder, I suppose, going into the FA Cup game today, again against League 2 opposition. We won this game 3-0, we didn't have that much of the ball, but whenever we entered their half, we looked like scoring. Charles grabbed 2 of the goals, and Yer also got on the score sheet. A really tidy finish for him for our next goal. Perner, playing right back, good ball through. Yer, in off the post, cool as you like. That was right before the end of the game, 3-0. Yeah, just a really, really good performance in the FA Cup. I should just say, to provide a bit more context, Halifax are a team that have yo-yoed between League 2 and the National League a couple of times in recent years. Right now, they're in A team, so they're not the biggest team in League 2 by any means. Certainly not as good as Cheltenham, who are currently challenging for the playoffs. But nevertheless, we beat them 3-0. We're bloody massive. So after a great win in the FA Cup, we followed up with another clean sheet, another emphatic win, 4-0 against Gillingham, Yer with 2, our Conte with 1, and Benjamin with the 4th. After that, however, we conceded 4 goals. This game, 4-3 against Accrington Stanley. We were missing some key players for this game. Our Conte was unavailable, Gabur was out, McGuinness was out. There was a load of players on international duty, hence the fact the bench might look a little weaker than you'd expect. Ultimately, we weren't good enough in this game. We came out second best. A couple of subs made late on to try and make a late comeback happen. Nothing did happen, though. And after that disappointment of the defeat against Accrington Stanley, we did bounce back with a win against South Shields. We won 2-0, Yer and Williams with the goals. And what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means we're up to 5th. Despite losing 1 game in our last 5, we're still in a really, really good position. Right now, we are 6 points behind Bromley, who, of course, we beat last episode. Chesterfield, who we have later on today, currently sit, 4 points ahead of us. So a win against them really could close the gap on the teams at the top. When we came back for the Bromley game last episode, you might remember it was only the strikers and the centre-backs having particularly good games for us when it came to average ratings in the last 5 games. And whilst the centre-backs and strikers are still doing very good, there's definitely more green on this screen right now. We are performing much better as a team. Charles and Yer between them are getting a lot of goals, which we love to see. Our Conte, I already talked about his numbers. Falbo, 8 assists now to his name, really chipping in nicely. And for the first time in a few years, playing this 4-2-4 system, I really feel like the wingers are getting involved in the play in a really exciting way, which makes me want to believe this is a system we can persist with. This is a system we can have success with. Naturally today, I'm not going to change things. I have just noticed we get extra players on the bench today. because here's the FA Cup. Since last episode, just one sale to let you guys know about. Kieran Willocks, a player who was our regular left winger for a couple of years, has left the building. Truth be told, he's been pretty rubbish during his time at the club. We signed him on a free. We've moved him on for £5,000. He was threatening to run down his contract at the end of the year. So with the new addition of course, Falbo, it just didn't really make any sense to keep him around. Falbo is a much, much better player, has been performing way better. And yeah, I kicked Willocks out into the street, and now he's in Telford, so have a good life, Kieran. So Cheltenham, who we're taking on in this first game, are a team that were actually in League One just a few years ago. They've been up and down a little bit, one of the better teams in League Two, that is for certain. One thing that's going to give me maybe a little bit of hope going into today's game is the fact they were battered by Shrewsbury Town 3-0 in midweek. They are hopefully going to be a little bit tired. I have rested my players since we played, and well, with that in mind, we should be fairly fit, ready and raring to go. You might notice here, no injuries, no suspensions. As a result, we can go with this full strength team. So far this year, McDonald has looked really, really good in goal. Had a great performance in his couple of FA Cup games so far, so we're going to hope for more of the same from him. Elsewhere, of course, Yor and Charles have been amazing. Hanusek definitely deserves some plaudits, though. This man's been very, very involved in our play. The change to have a deep line playmaker really has helped us with our build-up out from the back. Just prevents us going long quite as often as we have been perhaps in the past. And Hanusek, I will say, as good as he's been, with semi-natural fitness, he actually struggles to play a midweek game and a weekend game. That is a little bit annoying. Besides that, though, it is a full-strength team, as I already said. I've added Zach, Atkinson and Farquad to the bench. It's the FA Cup. If we were to draw this, it does go to a replay. That would, by default, become the second game we do this episode. Sorry, Chesterfield fans. Let's see how we get on here, though. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, touch wood, the FA Cup dream can keep going today. I want to make it to the third round. We're one round away from it. I'd love to play a Premier League team away. McGuinness with the ball on this near side. Inside the first 5 minutes, flicks on to Charles, who has one effort that's blocked. He has another effort that hits the post. And that was very nearly something from absolutely nothing. A combination we've seen a lot this year. Just nodding the ball down to Charles. Unfortunately, on that occasion, the woodwork denied him. As I said, we're still getting the ball forward here. We're still looking to be aggressive and attacking. Hanusek plays it forward. Charles in a wide area, going to try and hold it up, gives it to Falbo, whipped back post. Conte heads it, keeper parries it away. I'll tell you what, Cheltenham are on the back foot early on here, and I thought for a second that cross was going to end up in the back of the net. It's still 0-0, just about, but this is a really, really promising opening to this game. We do now have a set piece. Williams can't get his header on it, but I mean, the pressure is looking good from us. We're looking competent in these, very early stages. Throw in on the far side. Perna is playing at left back. Had a very slow start to his time at the club, the Italian, but we've been playing him more and more, and he has actually started to play a little bit better. On that occasion, unfortunately, that shot was saved, but another good opportunity for us, just in the background as I waffle away. Perna, speaking of the devil, here he is, the right-footed left back. Did you ever have that scenario when you played youth football where you didn't have enough people who were left-footed, so you always had a right-footed left-back? Maybe that was a problem exclusive to my team. Perna is that guy for us. Falbo, cutting inside, hits the crossbar, and it goes out for a goal kick. How is this 0-0 still? Having 70% of the possession at the moment. Unfortunately, our Conte's got a groin injury. We're going to have to take him off and bring in Tanner Jones. I feel like we've not uttered the name Tanner Jones that much this year. He's been often a super sub. I wonder if that has dragged down his average rating, not getting full 90 minutes. His recent run of games has been better. Let's hope he can be a bit of a hero out on that right-hand side for us today. He's got the pace to cause problems. Free kick, dangerous area. Number 14 over it is Hanusek. I used to wear the number 14 Hanusek. Do it proud. On his left foot, the Czechman hits it, and it was very nearly checkmate, but instead he's hit the crossbar. Corner, Falbo. I'll tell you what, if we don't go in a goal ahead at half-time, I'm going to be livid. The good news is, we are going to go in. Well, I'll say a goal ahead. It's only the 32nd minute. Let's not get carried away just yet. Corner whipped in. Williams got his noggin on it and headed it to the far post. I don't know if it was going in. Charles made sure it did end up in the back of the net. It's 1-0. We're taking on League 2 opposition here, and we absolutely deserve this. I say all of that. Watch them now go up the other end and score. They look to go long. It's going to be McGuinness under it, giving it back to McDonald. And he is just going to get it out, no nonsense. Though, he wins headers like that. And that one, he has one really convincingly. And I'll tell you what, he's going to get on the end of it as well. He's going to square it to Charles. It's 2-0. Robbie you're a godson. That was actually unbelievable, wasn't it, by the target forward? Not only nodding it down to Tanner Jones initially, but then just continuing on a run from here, from deep, gets in behind the centre-back, and then just squares it to Brandon Charles, who, I'll tell you what, his combined distance for his 2 goals so far must be about 7 yards. He is just having tap-ins. Falbo now on the far side, trying to pick out Charles, who, I'll tell you what, that was a risky tackle, wasn't it? I mean, the worst thing for Cheltenham right now would be if they were to go down a man trying to make a desperate tackle. Yeah, nods it down to Charles, who's hit the crossbar. Have we hit the woodwork 3 times in this game as well as scoring 2? I mean, I can't quite believe it. We've been so good in this game. Unfortunately, we've not scored quite as many as I feel like we should have scored. Half-time in this game, 2-0, really, really good performance. Cheltenham had 1 shot right at the very end of the half, but besides that, they have provided no threat. And I know it's dangerous, I know it might be naive, I'm just going to tell the players I'm happy. No overcomplicating it, no worrying about complacency, play like that for another 45 minutes, and we will be in the FA Cup 3rd round. Going to make 1 change here. Perner not having the best of games, just going to bring in Tony Gallagher at left back. 2 changes now, of course, made with the Arconte injury. So we've got to be a little bit wary of our subs. But to be honest, this second half hasn't quite been as action-packed in terms of highlights. But for the most part, we have remained in control. That all said, if they were to get 1 back here, maybe then we start to worry. And I'll tell you what, maybe I should start to worry. It's Hopper with the finish. It was, well, another tap-in. I'll tell you what, there's not been bangers, has there, this game? Sometimes you have matches where screamers are scored with every single goal. You know, everyone is one that's fired into the top corner from outside the box. Today hasn't been that day. It's been a day for the poacher. It's 2-1, 25 minutes left. I'm going to try not to panic. With 15 minutes left, I think I am going to change something slightly. I'm just going to go to positive from attacking. I mean, truth be told, Cheltenham really haven't created a lot in this game. That 1 shot, the only chance they've had. Possession they've started to have a little bit more of. So with that in mind, I'm just going to instruct our players to hold on to it more as, oh my word, for a second I thought Charles was going to reinstate the 2-goal lead. Unfortunately, his header's gone just wide. 2-1 the scoreline, 3 minutes of added time. We've had 26 shots in this game. They've had 2. And it's going to end it at 2-1. We absolutely deserve that. Robbie Ure has ended up with an 8.5 rating. Charles got an 8.5 as well. A day for our 2 strikers. And, I mean, I want to say it was never in doubt. Obviously, when they got 1 goal back, you worry. But to be honest, they just didn't create anything in that game. It's a really deserved win for us. And like I said before, it's a win that takes us into the FA Cup 3rd round all of a sudden. Okay, slightly less good news. Arconte's out for, well, it could be 6 to 7 weeks or 4 weeks. Of course, we're going to leave this to the physio. Not great news there. Little bit of positive news. £67,000 for beating Cheltenham in that game. Doesn't do a load to solve our overall balance issues, but a really big FA Cup 3rd round draw here certainly could. When is the FA Cup 3rd round draw? I have a feeling it's going to be before the Chesterfield game. We'll find out in a second. We have got the FA Cup 3rd round draw. Premier League teams enter at this stage, as do Championship teams. There's lots of teams to be drawn. I'm going to put it on automatic draw, sit back and hope that we come out early. I mean, ideally you want an away game against a big Premier League club. Someone with a big stadium would be nice. Someone where we'll get a lot of the ticket receipts would be delightful. I mean, so far, none of the big guns are coming out, which is good. There's still a lot of the big Premier League teams left. Crystal Palace v Chesterfield. Of course, Chesterfield we're going to be taking on in a moment. Accrington Stanley or Northampton. No, don't want that one. Okay, that one's been dodged. I was going to say there's not many names left. There's actually lots of names left, but Manchester United's name has left the building. We're not going to play Colchester or Grimsby. This is going on quite a while, isn't it? Chelsea away would be nice. Never mind. I'm stressed. I mean, if we're not going to get a Premier League or Championship club, I'd ideally get someone who's another non-league club. Arsenal have left. Liverpool would be good. We're not getting Liverpool. Man City would be good. No. I mean, Boston United or Southend might be the best draw for us now. We've not got them. I mean, there's lots of League One teams in ourselves. We're taking on Crewe or Birmingham in League One, but it is going to be at home. It's not the most inspiring of draws, is it? But it will be League One opposition in the 3rd round. Kind of reminds me of the last time we made it to the FA Cup 3rd round and got a really rubbish draw. So that FA Cup game is scheduled for January. So that will probably be when we're back next time out. Dorking and York City, the 2 games either side. Of course, for the here and now, we got Chesterfield in 3 days to take on. It's going to be a challenging game, the kind of game that away from home, I want to believe we can win. Shall we go and try and make some magic happen? I'll see you in a mo. I know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's time for Jack Does an away day, and we are leaving the island of Guernsey, and I think we might be heading the furthest north we've headed for an episode so far, dare I say. We are heading to Chesterfield, which actually it isn't that far north, but relative to us, it's quite far north. And Chesterfield has a very iconic spire that the entire football club is kind of based around, and I feel like I should show that first. So if you've never seen it, here it is. We have St. Mary's and All Saints Parish Church, and this is the spire. Now, I actually don't know why the spire's like this, but the football club are based around it. They're called the Spirites. That's one of their nicknames, and they have it kind of very obtusely on their kind of club crest. Is it that the roof's made of wood and it's warping, or did they just decide to make it crooked? I actually don't know the answers, so if anyone knows, answers on a postcard. The football club itself is in the north of the town. As you can see here, we've got a lovely big green patch of grass, and if we go on satellite view, it's actually a fairly proper looking football stadium. And first and foremost, I have to compliment it. They have a car park that goes in a circle around the stadium. I didn't even know that was a thing. Does anyone else just feel oddly satisfied? Imagine being the bloke who got to paint those lines. That's a fun job. I don't know if this is a newer stadium. I've never been to Chesterfield's ground. It looks quite new. Can we get a bit closer? We can. Okay, so there is testing going on here, so we'll be a little bit careful with where we enter, but can we do a full lap of the stadium? Oh my word. I think we can go round the whole ground. Imagine doing races around this ground on bikes. That'd be fun. As you can see, the 12-year-old in me is starting to become alive with ideas. As far as Jack Does an away days go, it's not the most characterful stadium, but the fact we can just do a full lap, I find oddly satisfying. Okay, I'm a bit nervous. There's 2 dots on the pitch. Can we actually look at the pitch from these? Oh my word. Wait, is it... Oh, it's drone footage. This is very high-quality drone footage as well. The pitch is very, very saturated and green. This looks, it looks great, doesn't it? The car park looks just as satisfying from here, just spinning around. What signs have we got? We've got Kick It Out, Champions 2010-11. They're clinging on to the past here a little bit, aren't they? If you're wondering what they won in 2011, it was League 2, so congrats on that. They also won it again in 2014. This is very, very nice. Chesterfield, you've actually got a good stadium. I say that like I'm surprised. Can we see the church? Where it is? You can see the church. You can't really see how crooked it is, but it is over there as well, so we're really getting the full tour here. I think the car park swung me over quite a lot. It's not got the craziest facilities, although... A great screen in the corner. Actually looks like the screen you see sometimes in the Football Manager match engine, doesn't it? Chesterfield Football Club. Fun away day. Love the car park. One of the best car parks we've seen so far. Don't know if we'll be able to surpass it. 6 out of 10. I hope you're happy with that score, Chesterfield fans. I've been very generous there, considering you spend all this money in game and are upsetting me in Football Manager. So now that I've finished grading their stadium, it's time to take them on. This is now 4th versus 5th. We're actually the only game that's being played at this moment in time as well in the league. Everyone else has a lovely day off. We've got to play this match. When it comes to our team, our Conte is now out injured, so Tanner Jones is going to get a little bit of an extended run out on the right-hand side. Very keen to see how he gets on. Elsewhere, though, I've rested up the players. We are going to go in with the exact same squad that looked so good last game. And I want to believe, albeit away from home, we can put in another good performance today. Chesterfield, by the way, they're lining up in a 4-3-3. I've noticed Jarrell Quansah, Park to Prem legend, is on the bench. He's actually their highest earner on £3,000 a week. Imagine being them and being able to pay players £3,000 a week. If I had players on that much, I could have a 5-a-side team and that would be it with our current budgets. Chesterfield are playing a 4-3-3. Very interested to see how we match up against this. This is not a shape we've played all that frequently, I feel like, during our time here at Guernsey. At least when we played this 4-2-4, as far as I can remember, we've never really played against it on the regular. Obviously, they are a very good team that will back themselves to win this game. We're going to try and apply pressure from the front. Going to try and get the ball forward quickly to Yor and Charles. And hope that they can just do magical things as a pairing. They're like a magic act. They're like the next Penn and Teller. You know, Yor and Charles. It really has a ring to it. It's a large combo that I can get behind. It's very, very traditional football. Anyway, Benjamin's on the ball, giving it to Gabua. He's going to lay it to Hanusek, who's going to look to maybe get the ball into the wide area here. Brings it forward, gives it to Charles. He lays it off to Falbo, the Italian stallion. He's running down the far side. He's going to put it towards Yor, who nods it to Tanner Jones, who's going to put it back into a dangerous area. And Yor's only just headed over there. Lots of reasons for positivity after the first 10 minutes here. We are having a lot of the ball. We've had a fair few shots as well, just about trying to create a few more meaningful opportunities. Not been a classic first half. 10 minutes left of it. Just the one shot on target still. The only effort on goal for either team. They are yet to have a shot. As the home team, they've been really bullied in this game. Of course, as I say that, they then go and have a shot. They had to ruin it. But it looks like at half-time, it's going to be 0-0. It's going to be all square. It's not been a classic. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy. But actually, I don't think a draw would be that bad or a result here. Of course, that's what the Football Manager player hat in me is saying. The other hat is the content creator hat that thinks, I'd like more than one highlight, please, in the second half. And well, the good news is, 3 minutes in, we might just get it. Gibson on this near side, trying to put the ball in. It's blocked away. Tatum keeps it alive. Gibson squares it. Sorensen hits it and finds the back of the net. And Chesterfield, after an atrocious first half, I've come out in this second and broke the deadlock in a matter of minutes. We didn't deal with this very well. Gibson's effort was blocked away. Tatum did very, very well to keep it in play. Gibson squared it, and then from there, Sorensen with a really good finish. You know what? I'm going to do the change that we did in the Bromley game. We're going to go more direct. We're going to distribute to flanks. And we're also going to go to wide in terms of our approach play. This is something that I have done in games as of late, and it does seem to make a difference, usually for the kind of more positive. I'm going to hope that that's also the case here, as we are going to look to maybe catch them on the counter. Falbo needs to hold up the play, is caught in possession, but wins it back really well. Now the left winger looking to make it up this near side. He gets dispossessed though. Perner was looking for the overlap as well and is now way out of position. Gibson looking to get in behind, but Hanusek does really, really well to, well, just get back and do some defensive work. McDonald trying to pick out Yor, who won't win that header. Chesterfield bringing it forward again. Gibson tries to play it through, but we deal with it well. Charles, big ball over to him. Isn't going to win that in the air, but it's a bit of ping-pong in the kind of halves at the moment, back and forth. That said, we have a chance here, and I'll tell you what, that has come from nothing. Tanner Jones assists it. I've nearly hit my head off my desk. It's 1-1. I can't quite believe that. This was a really weird goal. The ball was just going back and forth, it felt like, between the two teams' halves. But all of a sudden, from absolutely nowhere, Yor just found himself in behind. Unconvincing goalkeeping. I don't care. It's 1-1. Norman, who didn't cover himself in glory for our goal, going to look to go long with the, I think that was a free kick rather than a goal kick. Either way, doesn't matter. The result is all the same. We have the ball again. Perner looking to pick out Brandon Charles. Simpson is going to read and deal with it. Although, I say that, Charles has won in, stolen the ball, and that is a sensational finish for goal number 26 of the season. Brandon Charles, he might be the next NLBM. I don't like to say his name out loud, you know, the Lord and Saviour, but at this moment in time, I feel like it should be uttered for a finish like that. It's been gifted to him by Simpson. He had a lot to do there. That finish is ridiculous. Jones with the ball on the near side. So far in this game, I was about to sing his praises. Tanner Jones has been okay. He has given away the ball there, and now it's Sorensen in behind for them, all on his lonesome, goes on his own, and I'll tell you what, that was not a million miles wide. They've also just subbed on Nathan Tidster, the striker who I wanted and they got first. Having seen their changes, I'm going to come back with some of my own. I am going to bring in Will Merry. We're going to play him out on the left as an inside forward, albeit on support. Elsewhere, Perner's not been good on the left-hand side. I'm going to take him off. And Hanusek's not the craziest of games, but to be honest, I think we should probably save one sub at least for now. I say that knowing that there's still 15 minutes left here. Still plenty of time for this game to change. Kalu, maybe with a chance here for Chesterfield. Free kick, McDonald. What a save that is to turn it round the post. Tanner Jones is going to win the ball in a wide area. And, well, ever since I said I feel like I've been happy with him, he's not done a great deal, has the right winger. That said, he might have a chance to do something here. Merry plays it inside. Gabua with a really, really bad finish. 5 minutes left. A Hanusek free kick would be rather nice if it could go in now. The Czech is stood over. He hit the woodwork in the last game. He's not going to hit the woodwork this time around. That is a sensational free kick. And she goes the opposite side to the way the goal, the wall was positioned for the goal itself. Just goes across. And on his left foot, that is a ridiculous free kick. It's 3-1. That should be game over now. 4 minutes of added time. Chesterfield definitely were stronger in the second half, but we've come back from behind yet again to win. And well, there could be a chance for one more. Head's just over, but with 10 seconds left, you have to imagine that is game, set, and match. 3-1, this game's going to finish. It's another massive result for us. It's another really, really big win. I don't think with that result we've gone above Chesterfield, but what we have done is close the gap on them. And I think further cemented our credentials as a team that are going to be up there, hopefully come the end of the season, battling away. We suddenly sit fairly comfortably in the playoffs now by 7 points, just shy of the halfway mark in the season. That result right there was a really, really important one. A massive win to get, and hopefully we're going to continue this winning run in live comms that we're on next time out, because as I said, next episode, we have Birmingham City in the FA Cup third round. It's a very big game. Of course, we met Birmingham City previously in the FA Cup first round. On that occasion, we won 3-2. Gonna hope that we can repeat that historic event that happened 3 years ago now. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Hopefully you've been enjoying us getting back to winning ways. I know some people enjoy my suffering. I think it's also quite nice to see us be a little bit successful from time to time. We are starting to look like the real deal. I'm starting to believe that promotion this year could be possible. Maybe you guys are too. Tomorrow we're back with the FA Cup third round. I will see you guys then. And until next time, it is me, Jack. I'll see you in a bit. I'm out.